I've seen a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross for this shit. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross is your fault.
Ross knew perfectly damn well what he was doing and what that would lead to. And if he was a real friend to Meech, unless he was looking to get 50 out the way, he would have dealt with Meech in the shadows, because he knows me and this dude who is going to react if he sees me dealing with this dude that he has business with. And there was a lot of business left to be done, right? Rick Ross, bro, could have done whatever he was going to do in the shadows if he really honored and respected.
No, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand, you gotta stop making business personal.
Big Meech finally snapped out of dreamland and thought he was about to make the biggest comeback of the decade. But instead of a victory lap, he walked straight into chaos, and some folks are pointing fingers at Rick Ross. See, Ross was out here flexing like he was Meech's biggest supporter, throwing stacks, talking loud, hyping up the return like it was gonna be historic. But when the moment of truth hit, that flashy support vanished into thin air. Meech was left scrambling and things went downhill, fast. The highly anticipated comeback concert canceled. That $1 million deal with 50 Cent, gone. And Ross? He dipped right back into his own world like none of it was his business. Now Meech's whole situation just flipped from shaky to straight up tragic.
And yeah, like business is business. A part of me understands a part of that. I do understand that.
Well, they always say there's no permanent friends and enemies in business, just permanent interests.
Yeah, so. Because this is the thing. I understand that 50 got, the ongoing beef with the people and all of that. You understand what I'm saying? But it seems like their transaction is just business.
Fans can't help but ask, did Ross set him up to fail? Or was he just faking loyalty from the jump?
So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film.
And the big question, can Meech rise from this mess and reclaim his name? Let's dig into it all. Meech finally walked out of prison, probably thinking he'd jump right back into the spotlight like nothing changed. But the game had shifted big time, and he was about to find out just how much the streets had moved on without him. One of Meech's first big moves on the outside, linking up with Rick Ross, who didn't waste a second before waving stacks of cash in his face like bait. Now, you might wonder why a boss like Meech, who once ran a whole multi-million-dollar empire and even had that BMF deal with 50 Cent, would fall for a little flash. But the truth? He blew through all that money, every last bit. He was hungry for a second shot, so much so, he was ready to ditch 50 and ride with Ross just to get back in the game. That's how real the situation was. Meech was even hoping Lil Meech would show up with some fat stacks to help out, but turns out Lil Meech was struggling too. Same grind, same stress, same empty pockets. The money was drying up fast and things at the Meech household were getting real shaky. But instead of offering real support, Ross saw a golden opportunity for himself.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose.
He figured if he could help Meech get back on his feet, he'd come out looking like the hero and the boss all at once. Back when 50 Cent was throwing shade and basically going to war with Big Meech, Ross was out here puffing his chest and talking real slick. He made it seem like he had Meech's back for real. Step one of Ross's so-called Meech comeback plan, load him up with cash, and the fastest way to do that, a flashy benefit concert produced by EXO Touring and AG Touring. The event promised a wild lineup of big names to welcome Meech home, and Ross went hard on the promo. Every poster, every post, every whisper in the streets, he made sure the buzz was loud. But just hours before the big night, Big Meech got hit with one of the biggest letdowns of his life. Out of nowhere, the Amarant Bank Arena dropped a bombshell statement. Due to unforeseen circumstances, tonight's show has been canceled. Refunds will be made at the point of purchase. Just like that, the entire concert was scrapped, gone, and people instantly started pointing fingers, mainly at 50 Cent. Rumors were already flying that he was out here trying to get both Big Meech and Rick Ross blackballed from the industry and whack 100. He was sure 50 had his hands all over it. But 50?
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars, so he does not understand where the money went, how Little Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail. Now we know Rick Ross has a song where he's like, I think I'm Big Meech. Oh, very over. And that's the Big Meech that gets portrayed by Little Meech on the TV show BMF Power, produced by 50 Cent. And it's ironic, right? I mean, it'd be kind of easy to see why the real Big Meech would like that song by Ross. But if 50 Cent gives your family, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Little Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people, he's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Little Meech got $5 million, and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with his Rick Ross thing. I don't think Rick Ross even gave him $1 million for whatever they did. It was a picture, it was an event. I doubt it was $1 million. I doubt it was $500,000. I doubt it was $200,000. I think it was $100,000 or less, whatever Big Meech did for Ross, and he sold his relationship with 50 for a $100,000 picture, basically.
He didn't stay quiet. He jumped right on social media with a post of the cancellation headline and a caption that read, I had nothing to do with this. Please stop calling my phone. I sincerely hope you have a nice day today. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm stronger than you think I am. Brrr. Then he posted a video from user Zip with the Drip on IG talking about how Lil Baby and other artists bailed on the show. And 50 wasn't done. He dropped more shade in the caption. The funny stuff is they was saying Lil Baby pulled up on them in a Ferrari truck, pockets full of money, and didn't give them nothing. He kept going, throwing in, Lil Baby was 5 when you got indicted. What he owe you? Tammy Cowan coming soon. And just like that, the one shot Meech had to slide back into the game vanished, canceled. All that build up, all that hype, gone in an instant. Yeah, people are wondering how he's handling it and what's coming next, but the real question they should be asking is, what really went down behind the scenes? So what's Rick Ross really got planned for Big Meech after talking a whole lot of game about taking Meech under his wing and putting him back on top? Guess what? Ross vanished, straight ghosted. He's left Meech hanging to clean up the mess solo, like none of this was ever his problem.
Seeing a lot of posts about the Big Meech concert getting canceled. What I'm not seeing is anybody blaming Rick Ross. Nobody is saying, yo, Rick Ross, it's your fault. So I'ma do it. Yo, Rick Ross, this is your fault. You the reason why Big Meech is going through this shit right now, you heard? Because when we was on the internet talking about the Cuffy case and all that, nobody even really gave a f. But now 50 talking about that and everybody listening. Everybody listening, you heard? So, I just want to say, or I want to ask you, did you think that shit was a good idea in hindsight? Do you think it was a good idea to be in the video with me talking about Sexy Red?
Sexy Red.
Yeah, you think that was a good idea? Also, how you let that get the show canceled in Florida, B? That's kind of diabolical, you heard? 50, that's some bull. How you let that get the show canceled in Florida? Let's get to that.
When the concert got shut down, Ross barely flinched. He tossed up one quick video, spoke on it for maybe 5 seconds, and then, boom, back to pushing his own events like nothing happened.
This boss Ricky Rose just got word. Meech concert not happening tonight, but 3:05 is going down at the office. Meet us there. Bam.
Through.
You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand, you gotta stop making business personal.
Not even a pause to show concern. Even now, Ross is too busy chasing his own spotlight to care about the chaos Meech is drowning in. And fans, they're not feeling it at all. A lot of them think Ross played a major part in this whole disaster. If he hadn't come in and messed up Meech's relationship with 50, none of this would have even gone down. Meech wouldn't have had to bet everything on a concert. He could have been chillin', eating good off the millions 50 was serving up. And let's be real, Meech wasn't exactly blindsided. Folks online were calling out Ross's fake support from the jump. The signs were all there, so it's hard for some people to feel bad now. Even Whack 100 called it out loud and clear. And no, Big Meech can't just slide back and make things right with 50. That ship sailed. 50 already shut it down. He made it known that there's zero plans to do a season 4 of the BMF series. In a now deleted Instagram post, 50 even dropped some text messages from Lil Meech, who was pressing him about the way he's been going after his dad lately. Drama on top of drama. Lil Meech wasn't holding back. He sent 50 a heated message saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram and now you managing Skill Abba with Rocket. When I brought him around you first, when you didn't have a clue who he was. Now you mad at me when I would take my shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only showed you love and loyalty." He kept it real, saying, "I'm human. I go through my own stuff, but I never switched up on you." And he didn't shy away from the Ross situation either. Lil Meech admitted the only reason his dad linked up with Ross was because they needed the money. "Screw Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet stuff is throwing me off, man." But 50, cold as ever. He clapped back at Lil Meech's text with just one line, "What next season, little ninja?" Ouch, that hit hard. Nobody should be expecting sympathy from 50 right now. He's been straight savage. He even threw shade at Big Meech's finances by posting a fake GoFundMe page on his Instagram with the caption, "Help Big Screech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." Disrespectful and loud with it. So yeah, Big Meech looks like he's drowning and fast. Ross tried to toss out some hope, writing on his IG stories, "I want to do a real BMF movie, theaters only." Which director, Antoine Fuqua or Quentin Tarantino? And he didn't stop there. He even mentioned the idea in a video clip sounding like he meant it. But fans, they're not buying it. Not from the guy who couldn't even pull off one concert. And the worst part? Big Meech might not even be the only one who got played in this whole mess. What made everything sting even more? The fact that Meech didn't just lose money, he lost trust. People around him started backing away. Folks who used to ride for him started to question if they even knew the real Big Meech anymore. The ones who were silent during the rise now had a whole lot to say during the fall. And while Meech was dealing with all this chaos, Ross, he just kept doing him. One minute he's posting about a BMF movie, the next he's back to flexing his cars and dropping Wingstop promos. No follow-up, no support, no check-ins, nothing. It's like once the concert flopped, Ross wiped his hands clean and kept it moving. Meanwhile, Meech is left in the wreckage trying to piece together what's next. The BMF name still holds weight, but does Meech have enough gas left in the tank to make something out of it? Or has the brand already taken too many hits? People close to the situation say Meech has been trying to line up new deals behind the scenes. Low-key meetings, hush-hush convos, looking for someone to take a gamble on him. But in this business, once your name gets too messy, even your own allies start turning their backs. And let's not forget, there were rumors swirling that some of Meech's own circle tried to warn him about Ross from the jump, but Meech didn't want to hear it. He was focused on that fast comeback, not the long game. Now it's all coming back around. So the question stands, how do you bounce back when your empire crumbles, your allies disappear, and your own decisions start haunting you? Big Meech didn't just mess up his own bag, he dragged his whole family into the mess too. 50 Cent had actually blessed Meech's entire family with executive producer credits on the BMF series, which meant they were all getting paid. That show was feeding everybody, but now all of that's hanging by a thread. And honestly, some people ain't shocked he ended up in this situation. If you've been watching the BMF series, then you already know Meech never really moved with loyalty. He'd team up with anybody if it meant chasing a bag, even if that person was an enemy of his crew. See, Big Meech is all about the money game, but 50, he rides for his people. That's the biggest difference right there. 50 Cent lives by the loyalty code BMF was always supposed to stand on. Meech, he's loyal to the hustle, not the ones around him. And let's be real, Meech ain't about to step up and take accountability. He's pointing the finger at Rick Ross, blaming him for how it all crumbled. But deep down, even if Meech didn't see it coming, a lot of folks believe he made this bed himself. So now we gotta ask, can Big Meech make a real comeback from this? And is he gonna come for Ross and make him pay for leaving him in the dirt? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We wanna hear it all. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in with all the latest drama. We've got more stories coming your way. See you on the next one.